Um, as I've seen a lot of the stuff we talked about today, and I've seen some questions in the Q&A already about, what is the difference between data virtualization, between that and a data warehouse, or using ETL tools. So I think just to be able to see some of that, as hopefully you guys have gotten throughout this process, is very kind of, to me, enlightening. Just kind of get that light bulb going out, saying, oh yeah, this is where it goes. So to kind of test that, what I wanted to do and kind of make this a little bit more interactive, I know you've heard us talk for a while. I wanted to kind of set up 3 use cases, as I mentioned earlier, and give us a chance to kind of see, from the things that we've heard, kind of what are your thoughts are on a few use cases and the challenges they're using. Is DV the right tool to use for that? And I'll give you kind of a heads up. It's sometimes it's a yes, but maybe here or there. It's not always a black and white picture, but I want to just kind of walk through these, and I'll set these up, kind of give you a little bit of a feel for who the client was, and their challenge and the data they have. And then again, we'll go and give you some options and kind of look at those options, let you guys choose some in a poll, and then we'll talk about kind of our thoughts on that again. So set up for the first use case number 1, financial asset management company with clients all over the world. And many of those groups are managing large clients with multiple needs. So you've got lots of different divisions out there that are managing, multiple clients, but they're spread out. And a lot of times you end up with silos and things like that of data. So the challenge they had was allowing each individual division to fully support their clients that they had. And again, because they may have certain pieces of data that they're supporting their clients with, but they need the full picture from the rest of the data, being able to really put that together and have one place where you can actually go to get the data you need, whether it's using, as we mentioned before, Tableau, WebFocus, Spotfire, whatever, or even development tools to be able to develop applications of it, have that one data place to be able to go and get your data from. So the data that these guys have is legacy Oracle system, and that's where they keep all their portfolio data. They have a Salesforce application that's built, and that's how they manage their client relationships. So the people who are actually in the field managing the clients, that's the tool that they use. They have some stuff in the cloud in Amazon WS for the market data. And as you'll see in most of these use cases and most of our clients we have, or people we talk to, Excel and other types of data sources that are provided by clients. In this case, a lot of times that they want to be able to kind of join in with the data that the financial asset management company is using to be able to find out some new information about themselves. So, and go ahead and throw up the poll when you get a second. So we've got 4 different options here. So is data virtualization the right tool? And I can't see the polls. Are the polls up?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I just can't see it on my side. That's fine. So, and I'll give everybody a few seconds because I apologize. We're trying to simplify these, but there's just a lot for the different options. But starting off with no, let's build a data warehouse or a data lake and allows integration and ETL processes to go back to those divisions. Yes, it's definitely the right choice to provide that flexibility for quick changes for the clients and be able to give them that one place to do things to go for their answers from a data perspective. Put a no, but yes, for a long-term solution, maybe building the data warehouse or data lake is the right way, but in the short term, maybe we'll just do DV to kind of get us over the hump. And then of course, maybe there's always maybe in our world. Build a hybrid data model where you have a data warehouse, data lake, and then DV to support other things. So I'll give guys just a second. We pop up the results. Maybe a second. I think between my rambling, we should have had enough time. I can't see the results. Is there?
I can translate here. So option number 2, yes, DV will allow access, came in first at 46%.
Okay. Perfect.
And then the maybe option D was at 38.
Gotcha.
No, build a data warehouse was 0%.
Yeah, and that means you guys have done your job to the first this. And for this use case, really DV is the perfect example for what to do. Now, other parts within the organization, other things they're doing, it may be that a data warehouse or a data lake, fits those type of things. But for this challenge that they're facing, data virtualization is perfect for this type of stuff. Being able to give you that flexibility, because the clients are going to be constantly handing you new files that they want you to blend in and give you new analysis off of it. It gives you a way to just, in a fast and easy way, to be able to control that data and to react to changing clients' needs all the time. So again, going back to that, value for what you're getting out of DV is that central place to go for data when you have fast and very secure place to be able to get answers. Use case number 2, we're a large healthcare organization who has been in business for 40 years. They've got a lot of legacy systems that they've been using for years, and they're looking to modernize, as a lot of clients are, because they got new software, new needs. And a lot of that's going to be cloud-based. Challenge is, how do we modernize this while continuing to allow the same service, same level of service and customer support within our organization? So from a data standpoint, right now they're using HealthQuest for legacy EMR. And if you're not in healthcare, you may not know what that is, but that's just a central place for a lot of different types of data. They're wanting to replace that with Epic. It's a more modern, at least in their eyes, a more modern application that will do some of the same things. So they want to replace HealthQuest with Epic. They're using eClinics. It's another new tool that they bought to do their practice management system. And they're going to be feeding that initially with a lot of the different sources that they have that they consider legacy systems, but they also want to start taking some of those data sources and modernizing those as well. So they need to be able to react very quickly to that. And they have many divisional specific data sources, as I said, you probably heard that through all these, that are often asked to be able to join in to get different views of it. So again, very similar set of questions, answers to this poll. If you can pop the poll up so you can. Dinesh, I'll let me know when we start getting answers in, because I cannot see that on my side. So again, very similar answers. Again, no build data warehouse, data layout, data lake for pulling the data together and managing that within the architecture. Yes, DV is the right choice to quickly respond to modernize those things. No, but yes, long-term solution is option A, to build that data warehouse, and option B for immediate support, and then of course maybe again the hybrid option. All right. And Dinesh, again, once we have it closed down, and if you'll let me know kind of where we're at.
No problems.
I think we're probably ready to close as soon as we can.
Okay, so this one had close to a consensus. This is option 2 was at 73%. Yes, data virtualization will allow access virtually to the data. And A and C drew a 0, and option D was maybe a 27%.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. Again, I do think that this is a really nice use case for using data virtualization, as our last one was. And the biggest reason is because it does give you that flexibility, especially when we mentioned the clinical data system, where they're going to be tied to legacy system data at first, but they're going to start switching some of that stuff out. It gives you the chance to be able to really make those changes very quickly without having to have a full data warehouse or data lake that has those ETL processes done, and having to go through and make all the changes there, and and support those changes and all the things that goes with that. So, but in the end, for a lot of those things, after a while, I could definitely see, depending on a lot of other things that we'd have to look into, where a data warehouse or data lake may come into play. But I still think that data virtualization layer will be key to that, even not just from the beginning and then turning into a data warehouse, but throughout, and then maybe support that with a data warehouse or data lake at some point for data that going forward is going to be it. But in organizations, again, as data keeps changing, and then 10 years from now, when you think you got it all figured out, it's all going to change again. So, but yes, data virtualization would be our one as well. Again, just a lot of that having to do with the flexibility to be able to handle the needs to be able to modernize there. All right, last use case that we came up with, case number 3. We're a private institution who manages employee benefits and pension plans for clients. So clients for the organization are looking to them to give information on how to provide the most rich benefits for their employees, because that's part of their retention, and then they need to do that not just for where they are now, but for every stage of their life. The challenge is that the data for our client employees is not in a centralized place again, which is something we hear a lot of different people. It's spread out over many silos throughout the organization, and they need to be able to get basically a 360 view, and not only just where they are now, but for the lifetime, past, present, future, to understand how to retain those customers or not customers, but employees, by offering the right set of benefits and pensions throughout. The data for this, again, a number of different things. Some legacy COBOL feeding DB2, some SQL Server, HR data, Salesforce as a customer interface where a lot of their employees come in and are able to see some of their stuff that they have. Legacy Siebel, again, another legacy data source, and then again, Excel and other sources that come up from time to time that they want to blend in. So again, pretty much the same options. I won't read them to you again, but some small differences here again. So we'll go ahead and run the poll. And again, Dinesh, once we are able to kind of get it, if you can give me the results again. Main difference in this being that, we're building a data warehouse, data lake, but around how to implement MDM for that employee entity. So how do we see that 360 view? And then, of course, DV, again, itself, to be able to give you that full view of the person as well in all phases of their life. No, but yes, again, long-term will be option A, and then short-term B to kind of help you get there. And then, of course, option D, I guess the last one would be maybe do a hybrid MDM solution where you create some data models to handle the MDM part of that, but then you have data virtualization in there to mixed in with that to help provide some of the flexibility you're going to have along the way. I think everybody should have had a chance to order or to answer by now. We can close the poll, and then Dinesh, you can let me know what we got.
Okay, so this is split again. Options A and C were not picked. Okay. The D drew 64%. Maybe build a hybrid MDM solution with a data model that supports retention and assimilation of data. That's 64%. And yes, DV by itself will allow me to get data from all sources. B is at 36%.
Okay, so the rest. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and again, I'm right with you guys on this thing. I think primarily an MDM is the right solution for this, and the fact that that we can use DV to help complement that, to give you that flexibility that you're going to need, and I have to be able to pull in data sources from other places to join into that without having to make large changes to a full MDM system. Is key to making that thing run. And there are things you can do. I think, at the very beginning of that, Kevin kind of talked about being able to have a 360 view of a client. So, or client or any type of entity. And DV definitely will allow you to be able to do that, but pulling those different data sources together for that. But if you're looking at a pure, we need to be able to have this entity as an employee and see them throughout their life, their lifetime, in different stages, apply some AI for being able to understand future types of things that they may need to have options for based upon whatever analysis on that. MDM would be probably the best model to support that and allowing DV to provide for that. So again, no right or wrong answers to these, but I think on all the things, I think we've been in agreement and appreciate everybody's feedback on that. So
can I add a comment there just on the last
yeah,
point, Tim? Sorry. So, one point that we debated, but, we held off from actually getting into the symptoms of this was the employee's information is in different systems and not all of it agrees with one another, which means there's conflict in information. So if we gave you that, potentially, that would be a dead giveaway for an MDM use case. So we stood away from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's where you get into the deeper abilities to be able to do more in the MDM than you would in just DV. Although they both, I think, that it's getting blurry. So other use cases I just want to mention real quick, that we've seen and talked about, integrating data after acquisitions and mergers. This one we do see a lot of people, starting off with DV and so a way to quickly be able to bring in the different acquisitions and be able to get a view of them from a central place, with all the different data that they're bringing to it. And then, over time, maybe moving to standardizing that and having more of a data lake or data warehouse for certain parts of that. But data virtualization is a great tool for being able to do that. And that's one of the top use cases for it. Data discovery and exploration, being able to be able to get after data, tie things together and explore that data. And you even saw that in the tool itself. There were some options for that. Operational analytics, obviously, you're going straight to the data where it's at. So it's a very good tool for doing that. It works well in the cloud, obviously, for analytics and data analytics and development. I think that's the part that, we talk a lot about analytics because it's a lot of our backgrounds. But, doing development. So if you're pulling this stuff together and creating a data layer, it's not just to do analytics off of it, may be able to bring that in for some other applications you're building as well. So that can be cloud or anywhere. And we talked about one of our use cases was legacy application modernization. So I'm big on that one. Data services for customers and partners. So if you're providing data services for customers and partners, it gives you a central place to manage that very quickly and provide secure access out to people as well. Single view of an application development, unified data governance, and Kevin talked quite a bit about that, in his part as well, so I won't go in that. But data ops is the other area that we've worked with clients on. Being able to bring in lots of different data sources very quickly and respond instead of, spending a month anytime you want to get together some new data and having to go through a whole process that, having automation and other tools in there that allow you to be able to react in days instead of months, those types of things. This tool works very well in those types of setups. So again, lots of different use cases for it. These are some that we've talked about and had in our time, and just wanted to kind of make sure that we threw some of those out there as well. One of the last things, and it's pretty much time because I want to leave some time for question and answer, but one of the things that we are doing with clients now and in our offering for anybody who on this wants to be able to kind of take this a step further and understand maybe how this would fit, or it doesn't fit at all, or the places that you guys see some of this maybe being a fit for you guys, is data virtualization workshop. This is something we designed to be very, I want to say hands off, because that makes it sound like you guys are involved in all, but it's at least the initial step of this is just an hour or two session to be able to just have that discussion about what some use cases are, understand, kind of a little bit about the data and how, the architecture is set up already, discuss business implications. And then from that, we kind of come back with next steps. So our thoughts on it, what some of the summaries and challenges are, and how can that help your organization propose architecture. And if there's other steps after that we'd want to take that would make sense for everybody, then certainly we would talk about them. But the overall goal is just to understand and map out some of the interesting data challenges and use cases that you guys have. Again, more than glad that's something that IBI and IBI TIBCO and Amtex are doing together. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I'm sure there'll be reach outs after this. Feel free to let us know. We'd be glad to talk to you more about what that is, or talk about how we can get one done.